Hi everyone, this is TigerHawkT3. I am starting up the stream. It's been a while, over a year, but I'm gonna do some streaming today. So today I will talk about some of the movies which I have been watching lately, most of which are on Tubi, TubiTV.com. They're free and ad supported, so I can just go there and I watch movies, and some of them aren't very good. Some of them are better, some of them are worse, and yeah. So, here is one of the first movies I watched. UHF is kind of an older movie. I think it's like 90s-ish, but it's great. It is quintessential Weird Al. He kind of inherits or buys or something a small TV station and makes it his own, and it is great. And he has adventures and stuff with keeping it alive, and there's competition from the stereotypical large TV station corporate villain. And it is exactly what a Weird Al movie should be, and it's basically Weird Al playing Weird Al, and it's great. You should watch it. These will be very short reviews, by the way. Next movie, The Hunter. Willem Dafoe, whom I'm sure you've heard of, is also in movies you haven't heard of. The Hunter is an independent film. It's not bad, but it's very much less action than it looks like from this exciting and dynamic cover. So in it, he plays a hunter who is sent to Australia to capture a sample of a Tasmanian tiger for a company, and things, happen very slowly. It takes place over a period of like weeks or months or something, and it feels like it. I did say it is an independent film, and it doesn't have a Hollywood ending, is all I'll say. I'm not sure if I should include spoilers in these or not. I'm going to try not to, when possible. It's a decent movie if you're in the mood for something a little slower and just kind of there with like really nice cinematography and stuff, because it is a nice looking movie, and then there's a lot of time with people not talking and not saying much, but it's a good movie. It's fine. Next, this movie was it was bad. It's got Steven Seagal in there with his name real big at the top, you see, and he's like the main guy on the thing. He's not a main character at all. It's the guy below him who's like much smaller and not as, there's less focus on him, but he's the main guy. Some of these I watched a long time ago. I kept a list of what I'd watched on Tubi. I don't know why, but I did. And so this was quite a long time ago. I was reviewing these, and I realized I didn't really remember this one. And as I was going over the little Seek Bar thumbnail previews on Tubi to remember what this one was about, I remembered why I don't remember it, and it's because it was disjointed and weird and kind of sucked. But there's like action and things. I remember the plot being very confusing. It was one of these, we don't know who's the good guy or the bad guy, or what's real or not, and there's as you can see in the cover. I don't know if this was ever released physically, but in the poster anyway, there's like guns and shooting and action, exciting stuff, and there's the word weapon in the title. So it's not very good, but I watched it, the whole thing. Some of these movies down the list, I kept in a little separate section of the list called Too Terrible to Watch. How many movies did I have in that list? I think I only had one movie in that list. Yep, there's only one movie in the Too Terrible to Watch list. It was really bad. Anyway, next movie. Steve Austin, Hunt to Kill. These movies, Steve Austin movies, are an interesting phenomenon. If you recall, this is not the first pro wrestler turned actor that we have ever seen. One famous such one is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Steve Austin's movies are not as big and amazing as Schwarzenegger's. And I don't think he's a bad actor at all. Like, it's fine. He does seem to be a bit more typecast as, Steve Austin, kind of playing Steve Austin, whereas Arnold Schwarzenegger would occasionally play, things that weren't Arnold Schwarzenegger. What is Arnold Schwarzenegger? Action movie, I guess, Conan the Barbarian. But he also played a robot from the future in Terminator. And he also played a man who became pregnant in Junior, and that's a bad movie as far as I recall, according to critics or something. It doesn't have a good reputation, but I think it's an important kind of movie to make. Just to say that you're an actor and not an action person who films action things. Action. But it's kind of what Steve Austin does, just action stuff for the most part. He does have a sports movie that I watched and I don't remember the name of, but if I do more of these little videos, maybe I will get to it. He's a gym teacher who connects with some student who really likes boxing because he used to box also, and he teaches the student how to box and stuff. Anyway, so Hunt to Kill is about a guy who was a border patrol agent and then retires or quits or something, and then leaves, and then months or years later he's on a camping trip with his daughter, and then bad people are also there, and so they kidnap his daughter, and he must Steve Austin at them with, as you can see, a crossbow. And is that a shotgun? I can't really tell. It's kind of fuzzy. But yeah, he hunts to kill. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He ends up doing the same thing every time. Just character acting. But as the main character, it's kind of weird. There's some character actors who do an amazing job, and you've probably never heard of them. Like Brian Thompson. The one character actor name I can think of off the top of my head. But he's been in a whole bunch of stuff. He was in a Star Trek episode. He was the main bad guy in Cobra. He has this really big square jaw, and he looks super tough. So that's the thing he does, and he's good at it. But as the main character, being angry guy, well, not necessarily angry, but tough and stern with a kind of a southern-ish or midwestern accent all the time, it's the same thing all the time. But they're not bad movies. So if you want an action movie that's just a thing, it's decent. I recommend Steve Austin movies in general. Just know what you're getting into, which isn't bad, but it's a thing. Where's the timer on this? It's been 15 months or something. 14, 15 months since I streamed. So all the software is different, but it's apparently working. So that's fine. 9 minutes, okay. Let's see what we've got. Raise the Titanic. This movie is from 1980. It's an adaptation of a 1976 novel about, and it's actually a series, I think this one is. Pretty sure. I think this one is a series about an action guy, kind of like James Bond, only not, but like a similar thing. And the plot of this movie is that some people who were on board the Titanic were using it to transport a mineral that was very valuable, and the Titanic sank, of course. That is not a spoiler. It's just history from 100 years ago. Um, and so today, modern day, in the late 70s ish, governments remembered that this was there or something, or they're looking for supplies of this mineral, and they remember, oh, there was some on that Titanic, and it's at the bottom of the ocean. That's bad. So they're going to raise the Titanic. But there is competition from the Soviet Union. And by the government, I meant the American government, because it's an American movie. So, of course, there's competition with the Soviet government, and so they have to not only raise the Titanic, which is a difficult engineering feat, but also contend with, spy stuff. And there's rather a lot of spy stuff, and not a lot of raising that Titanic until, like, later in the movie, and you're like, when is this Titanic gonna be, raised? It's in the title. Do it. Like in the Matrix, there's Matrix stuff immediately because it's the Matrix, and that's what we're there to watch. But they do get about the business of Titanic raising eventually, and there's also triumphant American stuff, and because it was Cold War era, it's a good movie. I don't know if it was like a big budget Hollywood thing, but it's good. The effects aren't stupid. It's a good movie. You could watch it if you want. Some of these movies are no longer available on Tubi. They may be on other services, like I watched Superfast, which is a spoof of the Fast and Furious movies. Actually really, really funny. It's not on Tubi anymore, but it is on YouTube Movies, free with ads. So that's, sometimes I browse Tubi's Leaving Soon category. Because, gotta watch those first before they disappear. I don't know. Anyway. But anyway, I'm sure everyone missed this mindless chattering, but here, the chattering is the point. I'm not writing a program or playing a game. You think this is a game? It's not. Okay. Decent movie. It's pretty good. A bit of science, a bit of action, a bit of mystery, thriller-ish stuff. It's good. Titanic II. 100 years later, lightning strikes twice. Yes, indeed. I said I wasn't going to do spoilers, but for this one I will, because I think you already know. And there's a question that you're wanting to ask about what happens in the Titanic II. And the answer is yes, it does. Again. There's like a tsunami, and also an iceberg, and like something else, Godzilla or whatever. There's not actually a monster, but it's like all the disasters converging on the Titanic II because people had the hubris to name a ship Titanic II. Oh, you can't do that. Fate will be mad at you. It's not a big budget movie. It's okay. There's, actors that you've never heard of before. And kind of corny acting. And characters you may or may not care about particularly. It's alright. I think this stream will be limited by the number of thumbnails I felt like gathering up in a browser, which is fine. 15 minutes. Short, bite-sized stream compared to my usual ones. Remember those? 2, 3, 4 hours. I want to code this function, the whole thing. Octopus. This movie is about an octopus. I think it's from 2000. It's okay. It's about a sub that's not usually tasked with the most important things, and the people on board know it. The people on board, the crew, know it. The thing they are doing, their mission this time, is to transport a captured terrorist with his escort, his guard, I guess, from like the FBI or something. And then there's an octopus. It's big and scary and mean. Octopi, real octopi in nature, well, they're scary, I guess, because they got too many arms. But they're not mean. They're like puppies that look terrifying. And they're quite smart. The only real hindrance to more interaction with them being that they only live a few years, so there just isn't enough time to teach them a lot. But someone in stream, in the chat, Samanvia Gautam says, hello, please shout out, I'm your fan. Shout out to you, fan. I made the idle clicker in Python with your help. Oh, good. I did a let's code of an idle clicker, like cookie clicker is the example of that genre. And so, yeah. Cool. I'm glad. I kind of abandoned that stream when I tried to add like the various achievements in there. And I had done things without the assumption of creating those achievements, like tracking what has happened. Then I needed to add like the tracking logic somewhere, and some things I had with properties and stuff. So, it was okay. But actual cookie clicker has also added many features over the years. I played it recently. But octopi, friendly, not in this movie. In this movie, they're very, very large and very strong. Usually octopi are not strong. They're just squishy. And this large one is very angry. So they have to deal with this psychopath, terrorist, villain guy. And also an octopus on a submarine. Because, of course, they're on a submarine. If they were on land, how would an octopus get there? So of course they have to be on a submarine. But no, haha! What a segue that was. Octopus II. It's like at the harbor and stuff, and it's very large. The scale I remember noticing in this movie when I watched it back in the day, months ago. Sometimes it's extremely large, and sometimes it's just kind of big-ish, sort of. I was able to develop my own game with it. Thanks for shout-out and talking. It's happened first time for me in a shout-out. Neat. I am a very small streamer, but I'm glad you are enjoying. I did something nice today. Octopus 2. It's fine. At first people don't believe the sightings of a giant octopus because that's crazy. What do you think, this is a monster movie? Yes. Have you noticed that every time there's a movie with a giant monster or ghosts or aliens or whatever, like the entire thing is about no one believes me because this is dumb? Well, yeah, it is, because it is a movie, but they're in the movie. It's a more interesting thing to ponder than big octopus attacks the pier and goes on the Statue of Liberty. Grrr, it's an octopus. The special effects were okay. It wasn't a puppet. I think it was like a CGI octopus. It's all right. I've seen better. I've seen worse. I don't really remember what happens in there, other than that they were in some like underground passages. Was it a sewer or the maintenance tunnels near a pier or something? Very memorable movie. There's an octopus in it, and it's very big. You can watch it if you want. It's not terrible. Leviathan. This is an actual movie starring, what is his name? Peter Weller, I think. Is that his name? There's actually nothing wrong with Googling stuff when you're trying to do a thing or be a tutor. It's fine. Research, very important. So yes, Peter Weller, probably best known for his lead role in RoboCop, is in this movie a scientist working on a deep-sea research station which finds a strange life form that, remember the thing about spoilers? This I don't want to talk too much about because maybe you'll want to watch it, and it's okay. I thought it would be like Leviathan, like a big sea monster goes like an octopus, but it's not. It's a different thing that I don't want to spoil. It's not a monster movie. It is a horror movie, I would say. But it was good effects, good acting, good story. A little odd, but it was all right. It was good, more than right. It's a good movie. Good for it. This movie I had known about for a long time prior to watching, and then I saw it on Tubi, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch that. It's called I'm Gonna Get You Sucka. And I was reviewing it, and I remember that I don't really remember super what it's about. I think the main guy was in the army, and then he comes back home, and people think he's all cool, and he tries to say that he's all cool, but really what he did in the army was guard a desk or something. He didn't actually do anything. And so the you who will be gotten, the sucker whom they're gonna get, I think is either an evil corporation or possibly a gang or something. I don't really remember. But he assembles a crew of people. You can see them in the movie poster over there. He assembles a crew, and it's a comedy. I should have started with that. It is a comedy that contains action. Making your own channel. Good luck making a channel. Where are you from? I am in California. We are on fire. The air quality in San Francisco went past red to purple. I think after purple is brown. I can see why they didn't go green, greenish yellow, yellow, yellowish red, red, because that's harder to see the difference. They could have had a number scale. How bad is it from 1 to 10? Numbers, right? But no, it's purple, which means it's bad. When you go outside, don't breathe. You can, but it's it's not great. You can see the ash settling on stuff. It's kind of annoying. Go to the supermarket and get a cart that's just been sterilized, and it's covered in fine white powdery ash. At least there's no, virus on the ash. Fun times. So in this movie, yeah, he assembles a crew. It's a comedy, and they have to go and shoot stuff a lot. And there's a lot of, I don't want to say small jokes, self-contained jokes. They're going through the situation and making quips occasionally and saying things that are funny. It's a great movie. I would recommend it. I should watch it again because I remember it being very entertaining, but I don't quite remember it. So I think I will be rewatching that. Yeah. I hope we don't have any night mode people here, because I just blasted you with white. So yeah, that is my my small stream for today. I'll recommend your channel to my friends who like games and programming like I do. Cool. Neat. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this. I had an idea for a programming thing I could do, so I might do that at some point. And also these movie reviews, because these are easy. And I'm lazy, like a programmer should be. Did you know that's a thing? The best programmers are very lazy because they will look for code that they can reuse instead of just, typing furiously for way too long and duplicating stuff and getting nothing done and copy paste. It's very bad. Can you try the stream for Python Clicker again, please? I don't know. I think I would open it and be like, wow, who wrote this? I don't remember this. And I would basically have to start from square one. And I did like a bunch of that series. So I found that it's better to kind of switch things up in general. Because if I would do like a game stream or the same game several days in a row, people would be like, so we'll see. 19 episodes. I did 19 episodes of writing an idle clicker. Wow. That's a lot of episodes. And I didn't even quite finish it. I finished Tetris. I'm proud of that Tetris because it's good and it plays well. And it's like complete, basically. Not basically, it's complete. It's a full Tetris game that's very, very playable. But, my longtime viewers, I've probably noticed that I tend to ramble on at the end of a video because I don't know when to end it. But, point being, hello, I am here, and I have things that I can do and talk about that maybe I'll do. I've been kind of, I was sort of waiting maybe until I got a new computer, then I decided, nah, I'm going to do that now because my computer is 11 years old. So, thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you next time. I'm rather surprised that the stream worked on a technical level. Just like clicked around and it's back up and running like it hasn't been over a year. Okay. Have a good night or morning, whatever it is, everyone. Bye-bye.